the moment your paycheck hits your account. Most people have already lost control of it mentally. Within just 15 seconds, the brain starts running mental calculations. What gadget can I finally buy? How many takeout orders can I squeeze in this month? Or maybe those shoes sitting in the online cart since last week can finally come home. It seems harmless, even automatic, but in reality, this tiny window is one of the most critical moments in determining whether your money becomes a tool for wealth or disappears into the endless cycle of paycheck-to-paycheck living. Nick has spent years observing this exact moment, and the insight is simple yet profound: a structured routine, followed immediately when money lands in your account, can put you ahead of the vast majority of people financially, giving you a strategic advantage that few even realize exists. For most, however, the money just slips through their hands. They sleepwalk through life, paying bills as they come, buying small pleasures to make up for the grind, and wonder why, at the end of each month, the balance seems magically gone. The key difference between the financially stuck and the financially free isn't income, it's a system. Most people treat a paycheck like a sudden windfall, a little gift that they can enjoy immediately, without thought or strategy. They spend impulsively, then spend the rest of the month rationing the essentials, trying to survive. Successful individuals, on the other hand, see each paycheck as a powerful building block toward long-term wealth. They don't react emotionally to the numbers. They have a plan, a routine that directs each dollar purposefully. Every penny has a role. Some is reserved for necessities, some for debt obligations, some for long-term investing, and some for optional spending, but none is left to random chance. By approaching money this way, they let their income work as hard as they did to earn it, compounding its value over time while avoiding the stress and chaos that come from treating money like disposable currency. The foundation of building wealth begins with understanding exactly where every dollar goes. This isn't about approximating your expenses. It's about pinpointing the flow of your money with precision. Step 1. Determine your true necessities. Housing, essential food, transportation, utilities, and healthcare make the list. Everything else, no matter how habitually comforting, is optional. Far too often, people justify luxuries as essentials. A premium coffee, a streaming service, or a gym membership becomes necessary, and suddenly more than half of take-home pay disappears before any saving can occur. This distortion is subtle but devastating. By honestly categorizing what you truly need versus what you merely want, you gain clarity. You can see exactly how much of your income is actually available to grow, invest, and secure your financial future. From this clarity comes the ability to plan, to pay yourself first, automate savings, build an emergency fund, and start stacking the blocks of long-term wealth. Without this step, all other financial strategies will crumble, because you won't know how much you can safely allocate to debt repayment, investing, and future security. By mastering this first, seemingly mundane step, you are no longer at the mercy of impulse, luck, or circumstance. You gain control, and with control comes the power to build lasting wealth. Once you've established a clear understanding of your necessities and where your money is going, the next step is protecting yourself from setbacks that can derail your financial progress. Debt and emergencies. Most people underestimate how destructive debt can be, not just financially but psychologically. Every missed payment or accumulating interest silently erodes your ability to save, invest, and plan for the future. The first rule is simple but critical. Always stay current on minimum debt payments. This protects your credit score, avoids penalties, and maintains your financial reputation. The unseen currency that influences every major financial decision you'll make, from qualifying for a mortgage to getting a favorable car loan. In the current system, maintaining excellent credit is akin to maintaining your professional reputation. One missed payment might seem minor, but it can cascade into increased interest rates, higher borrowing costs, and fewer opportunities down the road. Discipline in this step lays the groundwork for everything else, giving you a stable platform on which to build wealth. Alongside managing debt, building a robust emergency fund is non-negotiable. Life is unpredictable, and without a cushion, even small setbacks can force catastrophic financial decisions. Your emergency fund is a safety net, liquid, accessible, and sufficient to cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. This fund isn't about earning returns or impressing anyone. It's about peace of mind. Imagine your car breaking down, a sudden medical expense, or your job unexpectedly disappearing. With a properly funded emergency account, you handle these shocks without selling investments at a loss or going into additional debt. For someone spending $2,700 a month on true necessities, an emergency fund of $8,000 to $16,000 provides a buffer that transforms panic into stability. Most people misunderstand this concept, chasing high returns or locking money in accounts they cannot access. The smartest approach is boring. A high-yield savings account that's insured, predictable, and ready for immediate use. This liquidity is more powerful than any speculative investment because it protects the foundation of your wealth and gives you the confidence to take measured risks elsewhere. Once your essentials and protections are secured, it's time to shift into growth mode. The next step is consistent investing, and this is where compound interest becomes your greatest ally. If your employer offers a retirement plan with matching contributions, prioritize that first. Employer matching is essentially free money, instantly doubling part of your investment. Beyond that, aim to invest around 10% of your gross income consistently in diversified index funds. The key is starting early and maintaining consistency. The earlier you begin, the less you need to contribute each month to reach significant financial milestones. Time amplifies the power of compounding. Starting a decade earlier can mean hundreds of thousands more in your account at retirement. Waiting even 10 years drastically reduces your potential accumulation. While many people overcomplicate investing, obsessing over stock picking, market timing, or fund fees, the reality is simpler than most realize. A broad, diversified index fund held consistently over decades provides reliable growth, minimizes risk, and harnesses the power of time. This is the phase where your financial system begins working for you, transforming disciplined behavior into meaningful wealth without relying on luck or sporadic effort. After investing for growth, attention turns back to debt, but with a more strategic lens. Whether you choose the avalanche method, focusing on high-interest debt first, or the snowball method, paying off smaller balances to gain momentum, the key is commitment and consistency. Debt isn't just a number. It's a psychological weight that can impede your progress if ignored. Eliminating it systematically frees cash flow, reduces stress, and accelerates your ability to invest and save. By combining disciplined investing, a clear understanding of necessities, and strategic debt repayment, you create a financial ecosystem where every dollar is working toward long-term stability and growth. This foundation allows for real wealth building, moving beyond survival, and finally giving you control over your financial destiny with the foundations firmly in place. The next step is optimizing the tax efficiency of your investments. This is where the savvy investor separates from the average earner. While everyone else pays taxes reactively, disciplined individuals structure their contributions and accounts to minimize losses to the government and maximize long-term growth. Roth accounts, for example, are incredibly powerful. You contribute after-tax dollars, but every cent of growth and future withdrawal is tax-free. It's like planting a tree today and harvesting fruit for the rest of your life, without ever giving up a slice to the government. Taxable brokerage accounts, while subject to capital gains, also benefit from long-term strategies. Holding assets for over a year reduces the tax bite significantly. By thinking in decades instead of months, you ensure that your money compounds unhindered, slowly building unstoppable momentum. Equally critical is the automation of every aspect of your financial system. Humans are fallible. Motivation fades, distractions arise, and stress clouds judgment. Without automation, even the best-laid plans crumble under real-world pressures. By setting up automatic transfers from checking to savings, investments, debt payments, and tax reserves, you remove emotional spending from the equation. Your system executes flawlessly regardless of mood, fatigue, or temptation. The genius of this approach is that you aren't relying on willpower. Your plan operates like clockwork, consistently funneling money into the areas that matter most. Furthermore, automation allows you to adjust dynamically as circumstances change. Raises, debt payoff, and shifting goals can be reflected by updating automatic allocations, keeping your system flexible and aligned with your evolving financial life. The sequence of actions from the moment a paycheck hits: categorizing necessities, covering debt, establishing an emergency fund, investing for the long term, leveraging tax-advantaged accounts, and automating every transfer creates a virtuous cycle. Each step reinforces the others. For example, emergency funds reduce the temptation to liquidate investments during market dips, ensuring long-term growth is uninterrupted. Investing consistently builds a buffer that eventually generates passive income, allowing you to scale back reliance on earned wages. Tax efficiency ensures growth isn't stealthily siphoned away, and automation guarantees that momentum continues even when human discipline falters. The combination transforms financial chaos into a structured, predictable system that steadily builds wealth without relying on luck's timing, or short-term emotional reactions. Now, let's return to the psychology behind this approach. Most people delay these steps because they underestimate the compounding power of small, consistent actions. They overvalue immediate gratification, focusing on the fleeting joy of spending over the enduring satisfaction of financial freedom. By reframing each dollar as a tool that serves your future self, your mindset shifts fundamentally. Paying yourself first, funding an emergency account, and automating growth investments becomes a habit, not a chore. And habits, once established, are far more powerful than sporadic bursts of effort. They operate in the background, silently compounding into security, flexibility, and eventually, wealth that is nearly impervious to life's random shocks. The moment your paycheck arrives is no longer just a deposit. It's the ignition of a carefully engineered financial machine. Every step you've taken, from categorizing necessities to automation, ensures that your money doesn't drift aimlessly into unproductive spending. Instead, it's harnessed, focused, and aligned with your long-term goals. Over time, this disciplined system generates a feedback loop. Investments grow, debt shrinks, emergency funds provide confidence, and your ability to take calculated risks increases. It's not about making a single perfect decision. It's about creating a resilient structure that makes good decisions inevitable and bad outcomes avoidable. By mastering this paycheck routine, you flip the script on what financial success looks like. You no longer depend on a high income to survive. Your money now works for you. The combination of precision in tracking, rigor in debt management, strategic investing, tax awareness, and automation produces a compounding effect that is both psychological and mathematical. Confidence replaces stress, options replace scarcity, and freedom replaces constraint. The system transforms what could be a chaotic, reactive life into one of intentional control and sustainable growth. Ultimately, building wealth is not about extraordinary talent, timing, or luck. It's about the deliberate, consistent application of foundational financial principles. Each paycheck becomes a building block for long-term security and freedom, rather than a fleeting thrill that vanishes within days. The key is starting now, without hesitation, applying these steps methodically, and letting time and discipline work their magic. Those who adopt this routine see results not just in numbers, but in peace of mind, stability, and a life that aligns with their true goals rather than the whims of circumstance. In the end, it's simple. Take control immediately. Systematize your money, protect it, and make it work harder than you ever could alone. Your future self will thank you, and in just a few years, you'll look back amazed at how a few small, consistent, automated actions completely transformed your financial reality. This is not theory. It's actionable, repeatable, and scalable for anyone willing to commit. Every paycheck becomes a tool, every decision deliberate, and every dollar an ally in the pursuit of lasting wealth.